Hello, I'm Harold Watkins, and this is part two of my ADAS Cyber Triage Simulator. I'm going to explain how this system works by what each part is responsible for. Think of it like explaining a game by the jobs each part does. First, we're going to speak about the state. Well, first, let me explain this. There's a few fields that I'm going to speak about that stood out to me and that I felt is important to point out. Um, the state fields is one of them. Two is the model, enums, and lane objects I found to be important. Um, the engine, spawning, collision, the tick, um, found to be important. That's three. And rendering is the fourth one that I found to be important that I'm going to speak about. So first, starting with the state, which is here. This is what the game remembers at any moment. It remembers what's on the road, how healthy the system is, what protection is active, and how fast things are moving. Nothing is hidden. Everything the game needs to know lives right here. And you will see the so you have the fields, all the information, everything that the game could do is present within the state. Every all the states that the game could be in is here, is declared here. Moving to a model. I define what kinds of things are allowed in the game. For example, some objects help you, some some always hurt you, and some depend on what protections you have. The game can only choose from this list. It can't make up things. And this is what we have here. So in this block, you have the objects. This block, you have your tokens. You have your objects here, and that what makes up the state. Next, we're going to speak about the engine. The engine, tick, spawn, collision. This is where the game decides what happens when things touch. Helpful items always helps. Some hazards always cause damage. Other threats only cause damage if you don't have the right protection. If you have the wrong protection, it's the same as having none, which you would see here in these blocks. So this is where it starts. Why it would end. How you get graded. Different blocks. And another part that's important here is dealing with spawning, which is in this block. The game doesn't add. So what happens with spawning or spawn wave? The game doesn't add random chaos. It adds challenges on purpose. As things speed up, it gives you less time to recover and start stacking harder problems together. That's what happens here. The final section deals with rendering, and you guys probably can figure out what rendering does just by the name of it. This part only draws what's happening. It never decides outcomes. The screen shows the results of the game. It doesn't control the game. This is what happens in rendering. Nothing to really point out. In conclusion, so even though this looks like a simple game, it's really a system that follows clear rules, remembers the state, and reacts to pressure over time. The pictures are just how the system shows in decisions. And with that, that concludes. Thank you for watching.